I am going to go through the typical day for the life of a motorcycle racer. I would like to stress the safety aspect of this sport, and the gear is the most important part of racing. The gear that one attains could save their life and the life of others who watch them. The main gear any racer must have is the helmet, the chest protector, riding pants, shirts and gloves, a set of goggles, and the liate brace for their neck. This could cost thousands of dollars, but it's all worth it knowing that your racer is going to be safe on the track. As soon as the proper gear is on, the rider needs to check that their gas is on, the choke is off, and make sure the tank is full. The mechanic usually does this in advance, but it is a good practice because one can always miss something. A rider needs to feel safe on their bike. Once the bike is checked over by mechanic and rider, then it is time to kickstart the bike. The weather plays a huge role in how easily the bike will start. Cold weather could mean 10 to 15 kicks, whereas warm weather could start on the first try. A trick that most racers use in the cold weather is their muffler. From a beginner to a pro, the rider will always put their hands behind the muffler that is blowing out hot air. This is also a way to stretch their upper body and keep their cold hands warm. Now it is time to ride to the track and go practice. The practice that takes place before every race is crucial. The rider gets the feel of the track and learns the course. They learn different places where they can go fast, where they can jump, and practice their cornering speed, which is huge. The track seen here through a fence is the famous Steel City Raceway, located in Delmont, Pennsylvania. Racers from all over the country come to race on this pro-national track. There are only 12 national tracks in the country, and we are fortunate to have one in our backyard. Every track has different terrain. There are many jumps, bowl turns, and off-camber obstacles that the rider must face. Tracks also deteriorate as the day progresses and different bikes are on the track. What you ride in the morning will not be the same track in the afternoon. Race motorcycles are designed to go fast. It is not unusual to watch bikes fly 100 feet in the air, traveling at speeds around 45 to 50 miles per hour. This sport is not one that a person can decide they want to try. Racers at this level have usually been riding a motorcycle since they were about 3 years old. This is what a bike typically looks like after practice. It is almost crucial that you wash your bike in between practice and the race, as this is a good time to go over your bike. Make sure there are no parts missing, bolts loose, and it's ready to race. This is how you will see a lot of riders after practice. They are tired, they are exhausted because they used a lot of energy on practice. It is now time to focus. Riders usually focus, go over the track in their head, and decide where they're going to do what on the race. This is probably the scariest part of a racetrack for the riders. There are 42 bikes, and they are getting ready to all start. They are all heading into what's called the whole shot turn. 42 people trying to get there first. The riders take off. This can make or break a race. Most of the biggest crashes happen in the first turn. When 40 people are going for the same place, and as you can tell, it's wide and gets very, very narrow, accidents happen. The best you can hope for is to come out first. You can tell first, second, and third are in a pretty good position. There are 37 riders behind them, and they are still fighting to get through that first turn. They are already behind in the race. Here is my son jumping up what is called a rhythm section double-double. The jumps are spaced out around 50 feet apart, and the object is to hit both sets of jumps perfectly as to not slow you down. You are going at about 40 miles per hour, jumping uphill. Jumping correctly is also a huge part of racing safety. He doesn't look like he is jumping high, but this jump is a tabletop, which requires a scrub. The motorcycle is closer to the jump as the takeoff is not straight up and down. Different techniques are used on different jumps. A very focused and confident racer will relax during their races. This is very important because when you ride stiff, accidents happen. The national racers who are on top of their game have short-term memory. If mistakes were made, it is immediately erased from their minds as to not repeat it. Of course, racing is a family event. Most families travel extensively and no track is too far away. Here is my son and daughter as she hugs him after his performance. It is imperative to have the support of your entire family to succeed on a national level. On the flip side, races last all day. Some sisters can get bored and goof off like the racers. The more stress-free a rider's pit area is, the better he will ride. The best part of racing across the country is the lifelong friends you meet and will keep forever. Once your first race is over, it is time to do it all over again. If you had a bad first race, you have a chance to redeem yourself in the second moto. Championships are won and lost because of the two-moto format. You get your best results and add them together. See you at the race.